Hello, my name is Hudson Moura. I'm professor at Toronto Metropolitan University of Film, Digital Studies, and Global Justice. And I'm also the chair of the Interactive Film and Media Conference. This is an effort initiative that we're working for many years from now. So I'm very glad that I'm presenting this paper calling Crafting Care Through Text and Subtitles. This is a topic that for me is very important. I have been studying subtitles for many years in film studies. And now I'm focusing on interactive narratives, interactive films, multimedia platforms. So I'm focusing on several projects. They're quite different from each other, kind of to understand how subtitles and text, written text on screen, they have an important role. So I'm going to read my presentation, to be as to respect the time limit. So undeniably, our society is imbued with an overwhelming sense of carelessness, as the Care Collective aptly depicts. So I'm being kind of in this presentation inspired by the Care Manifesto. I think it is a very great initiative, and that we're working with these three topics: care, collaboration, craft. And so the Care Manifesto, it's very much one of the, for my paper, it's one important inspiration and source to think about the idea of care. A startling reminder of this fact can be found in the ongoing refugee crisis, which has left approximately 70 million individuals displaced worldwide, subsisting precariously in camps or alongside road boards, even a decade after the tragic death of Alan Kurdi sparked global awareness. So also, I've been studying refugees in film and representation and the media for many years. So I'm bringing all these topics together. We're going to see how this works. So in multimedia storytelling in interactive films, written text and subtitles on the screen emerge as powerful tools to bridge the gap between the content and the audience. They offer essential navigational information and amplify the user experience. However, the narrative weight of written text and subtitles often remains underappreciated during the production process and subsequent analysis of films and projects. The multiple roles of text are evident in an interactive setting. The text guides the viewer through the narrative, shaping the journey and the subsequent outcome based on user choices. Subtitles expand the accessibility of the content to a diverse audience, including the non-original speakers for that work, and those with impaired hearing. However, in the interactive domain, where viewer choices impact narrative outcomes, text and subtitles must convey information swiftly and effectively. Any hindrance in this process can lead to a disjointed viewing experience. Further, subtitles are essential for worldwide viewers to overcome language barriers and understand the content in their native languages. The role of text and subtitles extends beyond mere informational mediums, embodying a form of care that promotes justice and equity in the viewing experience beyond translation and accessibility. This mirrors the Care Collective's perspective when they ask, what would happen if we were to begin instead to put care at every center of life? End of question. They define care as, quote, our individual and common ability to provide the political, social, material, and emotional conditions that allow the vast majority of people and living creatures on this planet to thrive, along with the planet itself, end of quote. The Care Collective deconstruct neoliberal models archetype, an independent entrepreneurial figure that epitomizes resilience. This model's aggressive promotion inadvertently justify the welfare state dismantling and the unraveling of democratic institutions and civic engagement. However, this narrative runs counter to reality, as interactive films and multimedia storytelling are replete with depictions of interdependence and community resilience. Therefore, creators of interactive films and multimedia storytelling must design text and subtitle systems prioritizing viewer experience enhancement. Text and subtitles are integral elements that guide viewers, empowering them with agency and knowledge of complex cultural references. In addition to serving as the primary source of narrative information, text facilitates user-player interaction, shaping the viewing experience's trajectory. Thus, when effectively utilized, text and subtitles can become a form of care that fosters justice and equity in the viewing experience. By investigating how subtitles and intertitles represent an integral component in the introduction and viewing experiences, this paper explores craftsmanship, collaboration, and care themes within interactive films. In his comprehensive analysis of cinema, Gilles Deleuze refers to the presence of written text on the screen as a speech act. This concept suggests a potent element that disentangles itself and the audio component of the film, creating a distinct space for itself within the cinematic landscape. The speech act of the written text does not merely exist passively within the frame. Instead, it actively imposes its presence and insists upon its own recognition. It resists becoming subsumed or diminished by other film elements, instead establishing a dialogue with the viewer that persists in drawing attention to the text and its inherent significance. Thus, in Deleuze's framework, the written text becomes more than a mere informational or stylistic device. It becomes an active participant in the cinematic narrative, contributing to the film's depth, complexity, and interpretive possibilities. Coupled with Deleuze's emphasis on viewer agency in meaning-making through artwork perception, text and subtitles are potent tools for fostering culture of care, per tenet of the CARE Manifesto. Such empowered viewership aligns with the manifesto's principles of recognizing the universal necessity of care and integrating it into every aspect of life. This paper will delve into the essential role of text and subtitles in producing, consuming, interactive platform works, and multimedia storytelling. By examining 5 interactive projects for Stella Hotel, Life on Hold, The Displaced, Sea Prayer, and Another Dream, it aims to discern how text and subtitles contribute to the creation of sensory, caring, and emotional experiences. This paper aims to underline the significance and enhancement of navigation and narrativity in using text and subtitles, hoping to motivate filmmakers and media professionals to design text and subtitle systems that enrich the viewing experience for all audiences. Integrating care into the design seeks to disrupt uncaring societal structures, thereby enabling a more inclusive and empathetic world. I'm not advocating for subtitles. What I'm trying to understand and kind to call people's attention is how important is the written text, elemental, cinematic element in these projects, and how much care and attention the creators and viewers they should have in mind. Subtitling is an art that involves more than just translating the original text into foreign language. It requires a deep understanding of our artwork, film's culture, language, context, and audience's perception and expectations. In Gilles Deleuze's critical perspective, he views the written text and subtitles on the screen, what he calls the scriptual, as a fundamental part of the speech act in cinema. This demands an additional function from the viewer's eyes, reading. However, far from being an imposition, this requirement brings a layer of abstract universality that not only enriches the film but also intimates a form of law or rule that governs the cinematic universe. The subtitles play a vital role in shaping the understanding of the speech act, fostering a diegetic relationship with the primary characters, yet they simultaneously create an interesting dynamic. When entire dialogues are subtitled, the audience understands more than the main character, while incomplete subtitling underscores the alien quality of dialogues, leaving both characters and viewers in the dark. In the realm of interactive film, subtitles acquire intermedial function that results from the interplay of image and text on the screen. This dynamic transition between visual and textual elements engenders a space for cultural negotiation influences the film's aesthetics. Indeed, no interactive project aimed at the foreign audience can be fully appreciated without the act of reading subtitles and texts. Interactive films crafted with a multilingual mindset weave subtitles into the soundtrack as a fourth component, alongside words, noises, and music, thus creating an intricate layering of the spoken and written speech act. This complex arrangement significantly impacts the audience's comprehension of the plot and shapes their perception of the film. At times, it can distance viewers by adding further layers of meaning, but it also invites them to engage more deeply with the characters' cultural complexity and inner lives. Deleuze writes, quote, being scriptural, those dialogues pass into the indirect style. The intertitle, I'm going to kill you, is read in the form, he says he's going to kill him, took on abstract universality and expressed in some sense a law. As such, end of quote. As such, he argues that the act of reading, especially in the context of subtitles, adds a dimension of abstraction that enriches the piece while hinting at a universal truth in these intertitles. Yet this act also disrupts the spontaneity and fluidity of the image and affects the rhythm of dialogue, thereby requiring conscious balance. According to Deleuze, in silent cinema, the written intertitle signposts the law, the prohibited, and the order to be conveyed. It stands in contrast with the image that envelops the speech act, allowing viewers to visually perceive the character's emotions and struggle. However, multilingual projects have to ingeniously intertwine the scene and read images to disrupt monolingual discourse, thereby unveiling characters' linguistic complexities and aiding layers of interpretation. What we're going to see in interactive projects these days is that we're going back to the silent era when you used to use intertitles. Now, interactive films, interactive projects, multimedia projects, they are using the intertitles again. So that's brings back to what Deleuze was talking about, the silent films. So by integrating text into the film's plots, interacting with the characters, or alternating translation sequences to privilege audiences' knowledge over that of the characters, contemporary filmmakers and interactive creators disrupt the continuity of the movement image. This, in turn, induces in viewers a sense of loss and displacement. Therefore, the pronounced, self-aware, and intricate functions of subtitles in multilingual films interactive projects reveals a vital narrative strategy. It underscores the role of foreign languages in interactivity and their relationship to the experience of displacement, thereby enriching the viewer's engagement and understanding. In numerous films, dialogues take center stage, evolving into characters unto themselves, which presents unique challenges for subtitlers. Predicaments often arise from rapid speech rates, the concurrent presence of abundant visual and nonverbal information, and cultural preferences deeply rooted in local society. These complexities underscore the significance of political, cultural, and economic aspects in subtitling and the reception of films across various nations. Subtitles further extend their impact by influencing the tempo and rhythm of a film. They enrich the film's intellectual and emotional dimensions, becoming a creative visual component integral to its mise en scène. So we call this attention because in many cases, subtitles are not part of the film production. Sometimes they are hired later, and sometimes they don't have enough knowledge about that specific project. One salient example that effectively utilized text and subtitles in the interactive documentary, The Displaced, created by the New York Times. This project exploits the immersive capabilities of virtual reality technology to depict the daunting experiences of 3 war displaced child refugees. The documentary demonstrates how the strategic use of text and subtitles can amplify audience understanding and engagement. An essential function of the text within this project is to contextualize the narrative presented at the text outlines the backdrop against which the story unravels. It imparts crucial background information to the viewers, including disturbing global figures related to the displaced children, and introduces the 3 young protagonists, Chua from South Sudan, Oleg from Ukraine, and Hannah from Syria. This framework cultivates anticipation for the forthcoming narratives. Furthermore, the displaced text serves as a narrative instrument. It conveys the children's stories in their own words, thus giving audiences a window into their lived experiences. These narratives presented via text allow viewers to access the children's lives deeper, fostering a profound understanding of the difficulties encountered due to their displacement. Subtitles complement the role of text in this interactive project. This is particularly evident as the children narrate their experiences in their native languages. Subtitles enable language translation, ensuring the content's accessibility to English-speaking audiences and maintaining the integrity of non-English speakers' narratives. Subtitles extend beyond their fundamental role of translation. They enhance the project's accessibility, enabling the narrative to reach audiences who are impaired hearing or prefer reading as their primary content consumption mode. This is a new use of closed caption in our society these days. For many reasons, we can take a look in other studies about the sound in films these days. Many viewers are, even though they native speakers, they are using closed captions to better understand what's being said by the characters. So it's a very common use of closed caption these days. Crucially, they establish an emotional connection between the audience and the children in the subtitles. By preserving the children's unique linguistic expressions, the subtitles authenticate their narratives, thereby humanizing their experiences. This approach fosters empathy among viewers, thus maximizing the project's influence. Text in films has evolved from silent cinema, where intertitles were used to convey the dialogue and narrative, to multilingual film subtitles. Subtitles have become an intermediate role, bridging the image and text on the screen, creating a cultural negotiation that affects the film's aesthetic. In multilingual films, subtitles serves as the 4th element to the soundtrack, overlapping the speech act, spoken and written. This layering of language and meaning can shape the audience's comprehension of the plot and their perception of the film. In interactive films, the text is an element, ludic and informative, nonetheless intermedial, incorporating the literature into the realm of the film. Sea Prayer is a 360 fictional film that brings to life the raw realities of refugee life, employing the perspective of a father narrating his experience to his son, Marwan. This story was written by the famous novelist Khaled Hossein. Subsequently, the author reimagined this tale into a book, featuring a heartfelt letter from a Syrian father to his son, penned on the precarious eve of their perilous sea voyage to Europe. The creators employed VR technology to provide an immersive experience, taking viewers on a sentimental and nostalgic journey from a serene rural hometown to the harsh realities of war, bombardment, protests, and murder. The narrative further intensifies with this ultimate portrayal of Marwan in his father's arms at sea, a chilling visualization that showcases their plight as they hope against the deadly tide. The creators mercifully use sound and color to shift moods, painting a nostalgic picture of peace that eventually darkens with the onset of conflict. Hossein presents his main challenge through the film, enabling viewers to understand the gruesome reality of war through a memorialist but fictional literary text. The author also was a refugee, so it's a very powerful text. It's also based on his own emotional and sensory experiences. He achieves this without delving into the political reasons behind the conflict, instead focusing on the human implications of these catastrophic events. As he once was a refugee, the viewers are encouraged to ask themselves why such atrocities happen, sparking curiosity and awareness about the global refugee crisis. Sea Prayer, based on life in Homs, Syria, and inspired by the tragic death of a 3-year-old Syrian boy, Alan Kurdi, is a touching tribute to the countless families torn apart by war. With an emphasis on the consequences of political decisions, the film aims to cultivate empathy towards refugees, making it a compelling portrayal of human suffering amid political unrest. It's a very emotional narration film. It's a very touching one. The intermediality of Sea Prayer adds an additional layer of depth, and complexity to the overall experience. By incorporating text from the literature and real-life experience and facts into the interactive film, the creators bridge the gap between different art forms and foster a dialogue between them. This interplay between mediums enhances the storytelling and enriches the viewer's engagement with the narrative. The text from the literature, or vice versa in this case, Khaled Hossein's fictional work serves as the foundation for the story and provides a textual anchor for the film. Sea Prayer taps into the powerful language and narrative to evoke emotions, establish context, and convey meaning. The literary text provides a rich source of imagery and symbolism, allowing the film to capture the essence of the original story while exploring new possibilities through animation and interactive elements. While a fictional story allows for immersive storytelling through descriptive language and introspection, the interactive film engages the viewer through visual and auditory stimuli and opportunities for active participation. The intermediate approach allows Sea Prayer to transcend the boundaries of traditional storytelling, creating a multisensory experience that stimulates both the intellectual and emotional realms. By weaving together the literary text with animation, illustrations, voiceover narration in Arabic, English text on the screen, and interactive elements, Sea Prayer capitalizes on each medium in strength, enhances the narrative's overall impact. The animation breathes life into the character and their surroundings, providing a visual representation of the story that resonates deeply with viewers. The voice narration in Arabic adds a personal and intimate dimension, drawing viewers into the character's emotional landscape. The interactive elements enable viewers to engage with the narrative actively, making voices and offering comfort, immersing themselves more fully in the story and fostering a sense of agency. This intermediate approach also invites viewers to reflect on the relationship between different art forms and the unique contributions each makes to the overall narrative. Here we're talking about effectively an intermediate experience. It prompts us to consider how literature and film, in their distinct ways, can convey meaning and evoke emotions. Combining these mediums, Sea Prayer invites viewers to explore the boundaries of storytelling and challenge conventional notions of artistic expression. So now we're going to focus on two other projects. One's Another Dream, a VR, and Life on Hold. It's a website project. So Another Dream is an interactive virtual reality experience that offers viewers a powerful immersive journey through the perspective of Fatima, a Syrian refugee. The project takes viewers on a harrowing escape from a war-torn country, highlighting the challenges and hardships faced by refugees. Through the use of interactive elements, viewers actively navigate the story, making choices and interactive objects that shape the narrative and its outcomes. By embodying the character Fatma, viewers are given a first-hand experience of the emotional and physical trials faced by refugees. The immersive nature of virtual reality technology further enhances the empathetic connection as viewers feel a heightened sense of presence and immersion in Fatma's world. This allows for deeper understanding of the struggles and resilience of refugees, fostering empathy, care, and compassion. However, the project also incorporates text as one of the main elements in its narrative. While the project primarily relies on immersive virtual reality experiences and interactive choices, the text provides the viewers with essential information, context, and guidance. It may appear in the form of written instructions, dialogue, subtitles, or even closed captions that accompany the visual and auditory elements of the experience. And as we have here from the installation, that's also implement, and the text is much more part of the installation. Text in Another Dream may provide background information about the war-torn country, explain the significance of particular objects or interactions, or present dialogue between characters to advance the narratives, or bring the poetic side of the project. By incorporating text into the interactive experience, the project ensures that viewers can access the necessary information, engage with the story more effectively and emotionally. The text in Another Dreams creates sensory and emotional experiences for the viewers. It helps shape their understanding of the narrative and characters, fostering empathy and a deeper connection to the story. Combined with other visual and auditory elements, text enhances the overall immersive experience, allowing viewers to fully engage with the protagonist's plight and refugees' challenges. Life on Hold, an interactive documentary released by Al Jazeera in 2015, takes a deep dive into the lives of 10 Syrian refugees in Lebanon. This observational style film sheds light on their alienation and yearning for their pre-conflict lives through intimate camera work and diegetic sounds. The platform engages its audience with a variety of interactive elements. The narrative connects viewers to the refugees' journey through self-paced journey through their stories, enhancing the viewer engagement through interviews, geographical video maps of their escape routes, and personal photographs. The empathetic link is amplified by incorporating war sound effects and visual representation of the refugees' living conditions. The platform employs text profusively throughout the documentary. It begins each segment with a text introduction, contextualize the refugees' circumstances. The on-screen text descriptions emphasize the critical moments and experiences. This scriptual element enhances the emotional impact of the scenes, allowing viewers to connect more deeply with the refugees' struggles and aspirations. Further, it provides translations for dialogues and descriptions for critical moments, allowing the audience to grasp the full magnitude of the refugees' narratives. The website initiates users' exploration with evocative images of the refugees' lives and their devastation. User interaction is facilitated with navigational prompts, shaping a sequential narrative journey through each refugee story. The site also contextualizes the refugee crisis, using text clearly described through bolded text center on the site. Additional information is also provided at the bottom left for further audience engagement. The platform encourages user interaction using our Start Here prompt at the leftward sliding format to navigate each story. The website's synchronized sliding format presents each refugee story sequentially, accompanied by 1 to 3 videos and audio recordings per individual. Each segment focuses on individuals across different age groups, grappling with the repercussions of war and conflict, the consequences, right? These narratives expose grim realities like poverty, displacement, and deprivation. The displacement is embodied in stories like that of Mohammed, a 10-year-old boy working in a hot kitchen, Abu Abdu, like the photo that you can see. This is very particular. Also, we have some kind of style in the writing in both format, Western and Arabic handwriting, who lost the use of his right hand fighting against regime forces, and Bashar, a medical resident forced to flee due to his opposition to the Syrian regime. The film employs various cinematic techniques, including close-ups, point-of-view shots, and immersive sound design, creating an intimate viewing experience that invites viewers to connect emotionally with the subjects. The documentary prioritized raw footage and ambient sound over the music to genuinely portray the refugee experience, like that direct documentary, right? The claustrophobic setting and lacking privacy mirror their adversity, while the contrast between light and dark spaces symbolize the subject's struggle with trauma. Nonetheless, their resilience and humanity radiate, offering a heartbreaking testament to their experiences and struggles. Also a very kind of emotional project. So this project is very political, but very engaging, but also very emotionally, and that's maybe one of the reasons that they have chosen this format of interactivity. So Fabio Ragazzo's 2014 track documentary Forestell Hotel provides an intricate exploration of the immigrant experience and the broader social-political dynamics surrounding it. The narrative unfolds within a repurposed hotel on the outskirts of Rome in Italy, which serves a refuge for over 200 migrant families from diverse backgrounds and countries. By shifting focus between different times of the day, usually it's kind of a morning, afternoon, evening, and night, the documentary presents the residents' constant struggle for stability amid eviction threats from Italian authorities. This is a quite very engaging political piece. One of the film's core strategies is effectively using text and subtitles, which function as essential narrative devices. They not only contribute to translating dialogue, but also highlight the film's critical political context and the diverse personal histories of the residents. The film relies on subtitles to translate the various languages spoken by the residents, facilitating universal understanding and ensuring accessibility. This usage significantly contributes to the film's inclusivity, breaking language barriers and allowing for a broader audience engagement. Simultaneously, text within Forestell Hotel serves as a mechanism to navigate the viewer through the complex social-political landscape associated with the migrant crisis in Italy. This is prominently displayed in the depiction of policies like the Piano Casa del Governo. Sorry about my Italian accent, not good, which aggravates the housing crisis and consequently the refugees' plight. By offering contextual insights into such issues, text is instrumental in elucidating the detrimental effects of these policies, thereby challenging the misrepresentation of refugees in media and countering xenophobic rhetoric from public officials. This project has sometimes a long text explaining the political and some stories of the characters. Characters like Ibrahim from Sudan and Anthony from Peru, among others, help to humanize the crisis. Their personal narratives, translated and captioned for a global audience, offer a profound insight into their struggles and the resilience they exhibit as part of their community. These stories, amplified by text and subtitles, effectively underscore the human dimensions of the crisis, painting a picture of shared dreams and community strength amidst a challenging reality. Interactive elements within the documentary, including parallax, scrolling, and click-driven actions, are enhanced by text, creating an engaging user experience. The textual content provides personal context to the experience of the hotel's inhabitants and also clarifies complex political scenarios, such as the critique to the Italian government. By utilizing text to supplement visual and audio components, the film emphasized the political implications of denying housing rights. Additionally, the project's appeal for support via online petition drives home the message of the ongoing struggle for housing justice, positioning Forrestal as a significant political document. In conclusion, the role of text and subtitles extend beyond mere translation accessibility. They act as fundamental devices for conveying narrative of diversity and inclusion, challenging established narratives and contributing to a critical understanding of the political and social realities underlying the Italian immigrant crisis. Through their effective use, the documentary ensures a seamless and enriched viewing experience that engages viewers and fosters empathy for its subjects. This is a very interesting example of photography. Sometimes we have video, text. So I'll creating the multi-diverse narrative. Conclusion. Engaging with the world through our senses shapes our perception of reality, an experience that transcends merely resonating with our own emotions or empathizing with others' emotional states. How do written text and subtitles in interactive platforms such as films and multimedia projects foster care, engagement, collaboration? Gilles Deleuze emphasizes the significance of the viewer's active engagement in creating meaning from a work of art, a process mediated through their perception. This places the viewer in a critical role where they are not merely passive recipients, but active interpreters of the narrative, using text and subtitles as vital tools for understanding. In this context, the presence of text and subtitles can catalyze dialogue and shared experiences, potentially building a sense of care and connection among viewers. In a broader sense, this perspective on filmic interpretation resonates with the principles of care and collaboration, empowering individuals with a communal framework. In the context of interactive projects, this would mean encouraging viewers to explore, question, and engage with the work. Deleuze foregrounds the active role of viewers in shaping their experiences and interpretations. These interactive works, written text and subtitles, can thus be seen as channels that facilitate understanding and invite active participation and collaboration. When text and subtitles become tools for comprehension and engagement, they could help viewers to navigate complex narratives, appreciate cultural nuances, and foster empathy. This creates a more inclusive, interactive, and caring viewing environment. In this way, interactive projects can be seen as spaces for nurturing, care, and collaboration. Building on Gilles Deleuze's theoretical groundwork in his works Cinema 1, the movement image, and Cinema 2, the time image, which articulate the distinction between classic and modern cinema as something more nuanced than a mere shift from silent to talk films, interactive films introduce an additional layer of complexity. This sophistication extends far beyond the surface attributes of navigability and accessibility. Instead, it intricately weaves its way into the fabric of the narrative structure and the orchestration of the mise en scène, thus redefining in very dynamics of the cinematic experience on the screen. Interactive films challenge the viewer's engagement and revolutionize how stories are told, scenes are set, and emotions are evoked, setting a new benchmark for cinematic complexity. Subtitles and intertitles act as potent intermediaries between the characters and the audience. They function not merely as linguistic translation tools, but as conduits that imbue characters with a sense of immediacy, individuality, and complexity. This additional layer enriches the narrative, providing it with a depth that transcends the superficial plotline. Furthermore, subtitles and intertitles facilitate access to the audience to delve into the intricacies of the story, uncovering hidden layers of meaning, culture nuances, and unique character idiosyncrasies that would otherwise remain obscured. In this way, these textual elements serve to deepen the audience's engagement with an understanding of the story, fostering a more profound connection with the characters and their individual and collective journeys. Also, the written texts or subtitles can amplify the audience's sensory and emotional experiences by orchestrating movement and intensity through the nuanced use of color, form, and texture in the written words, as we can see in Life on Hold, for instance, a good example. The careful placement and thoughtful design of the text can significantly contribute to immersive sensory and emotional experiences that audiences encounter. Furthermore, this text-based guidance gives viewers agency, directing their choices and molding their experiences and interpretations. The integration of text in interactive films is indeed a sophisticated and interdisciplinary art form, calling for a meticulous blend of craft, collaboration, and care. Its multi-layered dimensions go beyond mere entertainment and into the realms of deep social and cultural engagement. The question then arises, how does the stimulation of human perception such as empathy, affect, and sensation by these interactive experiences catalyze political engagement? This relationship between the viewer's sensorial experience and their potential for political involvement is a rich tapestry woven from individual and collective threads. As audiences immerse themselves in these interactive narratives, they are not just passive observers, but active participants. Their emotional and cognitive responses, empathy, emotional resonance, and sensory perception are deliberately evoked and engaged by the interplay of text, image, and sound. This engagement nurtures a deeper understanding of a connection with the characters and their contexts, which often represent broader social, cultural, and political realities. Furthermore, the immersive nature of these experiences can lead to a heightened sense of empathy, stimulating a shared emotional experience with the characters. This emotional bond can inspire viewers to transcend their roles as mere spectators and instead become engaged citizens, moved to understand, reflect on, and perhaps act upon the social and political issues presented within these narratives. In essence, the subtle artistry of text in interactive films, carefully curated and choreographed, can indeed serve as a powerful catalyst for political engagement. Thank you.